Can I convince you to build Yuji Itadori Wind? Wind Yuji, also known as One Punch Man, is an attack-type unit with a first skill called Triple Assault that attacks the enemy 3 times to deal damage that ignores all damage reduction effects, a second skill called Divergent Fist that attacks the enemy 2 times. The first hit decreases defense for 2 turns, and the second hit destroys the enemy's max HP by 100% of the damage dealt. In addition, the chance of landing a critical hit increases by 50% for each harmful effect granted on the enemy target, and a third skill called Black Flash Single Strike that attacks the enemy to remove all beneficial effects and absorbs the attack bar by 50%. This attack will always land as a critical hit. He also has a 38% HP leader skill for guild content. I built him on a standard damage build to test his damage, but he is also commonly built this way. You can also rune him on Swift or Violent depending on how you plan on using him, but of course, Rage makes him the real One Punch Man. The main reason I'm making this video is because of all these comments about how everyone keeps summoning this guy. So make sure to stay until the end of this video so that you can be happy with all of the skill ups you are getting. Skill 1 has a damage multiplier of 1.3 times 3. Skill 2 has a damage multiplier of 1.6 times 2. And Skill 3 has a damage multiplier of 7.8.
Nice.
We know he can deal a lot of single target damage, but where and how should you be using this guy? Most people are using him in PvP, but first, allow me to show you where I think he's best for in PvE. You can use him on your Giants team for his damage, defense break, and attack bar reduction abilities. However, he does have multi-hits on his first and second skill, which isn't ideal against the Giants' counter-attacking passive. Also, he doesn't deal damage based off the enemy's max HP, so the damage won't be as good as something like Lin or Shaman. So for those reasons, I'd give him a C rank for Giants. But I do think that he is really good against the Ice Beast, Raid 5, and Phase 3 of Dimensional Raid. What makes him good against the Ice Beast is his defense break plus big single target damage. What makes him good for raids is his damage plus his third ability that absorbs attack bar. And since you will usually have 2 or more debuffs on the boss most of the time, his second skill will always crit even on low crit rate. And lastly, he can be good against the third wave of the Dimensional Raid. However, I would build him on more crit rate plus revenge if you plan on using him for this so that he can break the shield easier. So for these 3 dungeons, I would say he's a solid B rank for all 3 of them. But where he really shines is PvP, specifically Guild Wars. There's many different ways you can utilize him, and I will show you a few different ways that I've been using him to counter certain defenses. In this match, I'm using him mainly for his second ability to destroy the enemy's HP so that when they get revived, they won't have as much health. In this situation, I am able to kill the Dominic without having to worry about glancing or missing a crit because his third skill will always crit. And for an annoying, slow and tanky defense like this, he does a great job at removing the cookies buffs and destroying their max HP, which also works great against Camillas. A unique way you can build Wind Yuji is as a hybrid tank for 4-star and below battles. This way you can utilize his leader skill. And since he always crits, you can rely on him to still be able to one-shot attack type fire units like Fire Sniper in this scenario.
Get over here!
And of course, you can easily one-shot a Kinky, so if for nothing else, build him as a budget Kinky counter. Also, he does a great job at dealing with Halfas, since he can punch through his shield. It's also worth noting that he will not strip then deal damage, so unfortunately he won't counter things like Water Monkey that well. With that being said, I'd still give him a solid A for Guild Wars. But how good is he for Arena? Of course, you can use him to slowly pick apart defenses with his single target abilities. But if you have Zen, then here's the best way to use him for Arena. So of course, I had to take this combo into RTA. I kept his runes almost exactly how they were, except I changed his slot 2 for speed. And I'll hover over a few more of the units I decided to pair with him. This combo was a lot of fun to use and is honestly a pretty decent team. However, I think the most practical way to use him for RTA is to counter pick against things like Kinky, molly, and if your opponent is drafting slow and tanky. I'll let these quick RTA matches play out for you, and let me know in the comments if I have convinced you to build Wind Yuji.
But it's real being a slick head.